Hey everyone, welcome to another live recording of the Managing Partners podcast. My name is Kevin Daisey and I'll be your host, also the founder of Array Digital. We help law firms grow through digital marketing. Today I got a special guest right here in Virginia where I'm at. Bobby. Feisee, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate you having me here today.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. And just for everyone listening in right now, I met Bobby through a previous guest, David Ginsburg, and I always ask our guests, who do you recommend to be on this show? And he immediately thought of Bobby. So this is a guest referred from another guest. Always appreciate that. So if you're listening, you want to be on the show, reach out to me. Send me an email, respond to the newsletter that we send out each week, or reach out to one of our previous guests, and we'd love to have you on the show. So Bobby, thanks for coming on and sharing your story today and more about you. So let's jump right into it. Tell me your story. Tell me about you, and then we'll get into some questions about the firm.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. I'm an estate and business planning attorney. I took a little bit of a longer route to get here. Out of law school, I really didn't know what area of law I wanted to do. I went to George Mason Law School. I actually graduated with David Ginsburg, who's the family law attorney that you had worked with previously. And so worked at a litigation firm, realized I really didn't like suing people. So that was during the dot-com boom. I'm probably dating myself, around 1999, 2000 era. I had a finance degree, so I decided to go off, and I thought it was a hot shot financial advisor. Worked at Morgan Stanley, got my CFP, certified financial planner. Rode that kind of wave with the tech boom and realized there's a lot more to it than just picking stocks just out of the back of the seat of your pants. And so, and went back to the legal field, actually. Had some personal experience on the estate planning side with my family. Dad had contracted this disease called Lewy body disease that causes dementia. His estate plan was done by another attorney, and I realized it wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. No follow-up, nothing was titled right, and I realized there's a big gap in this area of law, and a lot of the estate planning things that are involved, a lot of estate planning issues are involved with people's assets, because when you're talking about estate planning, you're talking about not only your family, but all your money. And so
sure, everything you worked for.
Yeah, having that background really helped. And so I opened up my own shingle, 2002, and just started out as a solo. And now we're here in 2022. We've got a team of 12. And we're growing.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that. Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow. If you've worked so hard, you got things in place, you trusted an attorney or someone to put it together for you, and it's not right, or it's you're not being taken care of. So terrible. So tell me a little bit about besides, so you said 12?
We got a team of 12 right now.
Okay.
And
team of
so 12. We've got kind of 3 core attorneys. We've got some counsel attorneys, and then we've got 6 paralegals currently.
Excellent. And where are you actually based?
Our hub office is in Ashburn, Virginia. We do have locations in McLean, Virginia, and Colorado. We've got clients kind of dispersed throughout the country.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. For everyone listening too, if you're listening on the podcast, you can check Bobby out and his firm at insightlaw.net. So it's INSIGHT law.net. So you can take a look at them, see where they're at. If you need anything, or if maybe that could be a good referral source. Maybe you have a family or member in that area in Virginia that could use their help. So take a look at them, see what they're all about, learn more about him and his firm. So only a couple of things about the business, how you're running things and doing things there. Anything we can do to help our attorneys listening in, whether they're seasoned or not. Maybe they're trying to hang their own shingle. And so that's what we're here to help folks listening get knowledge from you. So besides referrals, what are you doing? What have you done to generate new clients? Because I think that's the biggest thing most firms are dealing with, especially if you started out new. Hopefully you have a referral source, maybe an attorney you worked for, but what's that been like for you, and what areas are you focused on right now?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, and so I think what I find a lot of attorneys that it's a pretty simple answer, but I find most attorneys don't spend the time on it. We're great writers, I think, but we don't do it for ourselves.
Yeah.
Having an actual written marketing plan, that's really what made the difference. And I have a written business plan, and having something concrete in writing that you can edit and review and go back to is powerful. And so, yes. So, how do we get new clients? First, I first think about what our target market is and what we're thinking about and who we're trying to reach. We talk about
Excellent.
think about our message so that we can be clear and communicate that. And then you got to go to the distribution channels, right? So, what are the different areas? And any good marketing plan should be a diversified marketing plan. And so, yeah, we have a wholesale approach where I'm teaching certain key planning partners that would produce referrals. You're asking for outside of that, but I mean, I'm
Yeah,
teaching.
but that's a way to produce them versus, some, I think, just hopefully and sit back and wait. They do good work, which is great, and then they get referrals from that. But you're actively creating those referrals. It seems like with
I'm
that.
trying to educate them on the issues so that when they meet with their clients, they can think of us on that. And there's different techniques and strategies that you can look at. And so that's the one areas I call that wholesale marketing is more of the financial advisors, the CPAs, the insurance advisors, to
Mm.
people in spheres of influence that can help. But again, you have to start with your message and what you're trying to do. And we're in a specific area, right? My message is very clear. It's very simple, and I think our mission is very clear. It's like we want to create estate plans that work, and it's very black and white for our firm because I tell my team this is our mission. When we get that call, right, when there's a death of a client, we want to be able to tell them everything's in good order. Just be with the family. When you're ready to come in, we're going to lay out what to do, who's doing what, and we have a
Mm.
specific process to lay everything out. Um, they don't
I
want to
love
hear. They don't want to hear. I think everything is in good order.
that.
And so most estate planning attorneys, I find, or at least practices, don't have a relationship-based approach. That's what I would say is our niche. Is that your plan doesn't need to work when you sign it. I'm hoping you're not going to die anytime soon. It's got to work
Yeah.
down the line, and things change. And people, most people get that, but they haven't figured out a way to kind of communicate with their clients on a way efficient basis where the fees are reasonable and we're checking the vitals and there's value being produced. So, they're the main
Yeah,
thing.
I love that. So a couple of good takeaways there for everybody and myself. One that a marketing plan. So it's just like if you had a financial plan versus not having one, right? So it's you either have a plan to get there or you don't. And marketing is the same way. You need to kind of sit down and review it, and it changes. So you need to kind of sit down and review it all the time. And I think it's we're a marketing agency, but you the owner and your team need to review your marketing plan and know where you're going. Your agency might they need to be aware of where you're trying to go and meet with you regularly, but every firm should be responsible for their own marketing plan to review it and to follow up on it and say, are we doing the right things? Am I getting the right results? The other thing, so I would encourage everyone to do that. The other thing is that you have a clear message or a company signature talk or message, if you will, like so that it's very clear what we do here. It's our mission, and that every team member can recite that, if you will. But make it very clear, stupid, simple, and that makes everything else a lot easier when you're doing a marketing piece or an email or whatever it might be. So, yeah, that's a good example. That's a good tip.
Great. Yeah. I mean, those are the main things. Keep it simple, like you said. And you have to have a team rallying behind that. And I just find attorneys don't write their marketing plan down for some
Well,
reason.
yeah. So I think you also, well, that's the thing. Like attorneys like to write, and they write a lot of stuff, but they don't, document their own stuff, right? It's just like documenting a process for other employees. Like, how do I do this? And then, that's very important for a business to grow. So I think where you guys are at, which is it makes it easy, which is good. But I see some firms, and I've had a lot of firms on here that they do 20 different practice areas, right? So how do you have a clear, concise message when you can't even say anything about what you do. And if you look at the websites, they're so vague because they're like, well, we can't really choose, we have to be, very broad. And so I think that makes it very difficult. So it's kind of cool to see a lot of firms these days that are really niching and focusing in an area.
Totally agree, Kevin. I mean, estate planning is enough on its own to be a specialist, right? We added business planning in 2010. So it was a while before I added it, but it made a lot of sense because a lot of our clients were business owners. And usually their biggest asset was their business, and a business succession plan was a natural fit.
That makes sense to me. So that's what I would call, actually, I was just down in Miami for some workshop stuff, and I was learning some stuff, and that was what would be called a connected business. So meaning it connects very well with your existing business, and your customer can need the same thing that you already are working with them on. So a disconnected business would be you decided to do personal injury attorney work, right? That doesn't make any sense. Your clients didn't get in a car accident yesterday, right? Now, maybe some of them may, but that's a disconnected approach. So that makes a lot of sense to me. And then you can take your offering to your same clients and say, hey, by the way, we now can do this for you, and you drive up business really quickly.
You're right. Yeah, no, that's a great point, and you're right about that. But with the personal injury stuff, you maybe think about the audience as attorneys is that because we have a relationship with our clients, they'll come to us first, usually asking the question, and then we will refer those out. We actually had a few personal injury referrals in the past 2 months. It was more than usual. It just depends on what's going on in their lives, right?
Sure. Well, that's good. You're a trusted advisor for them, and you're an attorney. So they're like, well, who else am I going to call? So that's good. That's a good place to be. So, again, hopefully there's other attorneys. They're like, oh, maybe I should connect with Bobby. Maybe there's a referral source there. But I think it's really hard when you just start, firms will hire an attorney and they're like, hey, by the way, I got some experience in divorce, and now you're doing that. And then it's like, but that seems to be the natural progression for most firms. And I understand it. But if you don't have the marketing and the messaging proper to drive it, then it's not really going to work out. So, all right, let's get to some other questions.
No,
we'll jump into that. You spoke about what have you done with marketing or to get exposure in your local area, or if it's you said Colorado, what's worked from emails, or is it, I know speaking, it sounds like that's been something, but is there anything that's you've done digitally or online or social media, anything like that that's produced anything for you?
Yeah, great question. And the social or
wrong answer.
Yeah, the digital marketing strategy is definitely not, we have the website, we have a newsletter, we do the tweets, we do blogs. When I find things coming across my desk, and I find a lot of interesting things come across my desk, like that would be something cool to blog on, right? And so I try to do 4 blogs a month, try to do it
Nice.
reasonable, right? I used to say like, oh, I do one a week or do more, and I was like, I just do it enough where you can you can actually do it. So I'll do that. And it's more of an organic approach of here's the content. And I have not really ramped that up the way I want to. But the leads there have to be really good. So a lot of times when I'm working with the advisor on the wholesale side, they're pretty coached on the leads and they know who I'm going to work with. On the retail side, I call it retail, when you get things coming through the web.
Sure.
You don't know, but I'm trying to get the content clear. I have a great program that I do twice a month where I drive my marketing to, and that's the goal of all my marketing is come to this live program that I do. You can ask me questions, and I go through common issues, pitfalls in the estate planning, kind of estate planning, our process, how we charge. So I'm very transparent, but we're not getting enough from the digital side, I would say, okay, and maybe not the right ones, and so that might be somewhere I need to do better on. I haven't done any of the SEO or anything like that. I've just done strictly organic, just content. I'm the content guy, right?
Got it. Well, I mean, that's a big part of it, and just being have the discipline and putting that out there is half the battle, right? So we do SEO and something like that, and there's a lot of things involved and things that you wouldn't even be expected to know. But the content piece of it is the most difficult part typically to produce and consistently. So that's good that you're doing that, and that's going to help you in the long run. Google is rewarding people that just put out good quality content, and if you just take care of a couple other things, you probably would have some really good SEO.
Okay, well that's something to think about. Because
stay tuned for tips, and I'll give them to you.
Okay, that's good. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, I've always dabbled with that. I just haven't gone. I haven't done the SEO side of things, but the content's there, and it continues to come. You can't make this stuff up. It's real life. So,
well, yeah, the fact that you can take the time to write some content means you're running a good firm. You're not completely overwhelmed. You're not sitting in the office probably 7 days a week, right? So, you've grown a good firm, and so it's not running you. And I think I've had attorneys on here that are like completely like, solo practitioners for 20, 30 years, still working 6-7 days a week. And what I hope my guests get out of this show is that we don't want you to be that. We want you to grow so that you can have a life and bring opportunities to your employees and your staff. And that's what we try to do at my firm. That's what I try to do. So growth is good. It's something we should be pushing for. So
I like that.
So with growth, what's kind of your plans? What do you see, next 2, 3, 5 years out? What's your goals? What are you working on?
Yeah, I'm developing my succession plan. I'm 51, and I want an internal succession plan.
Nice.
And trying to find good associates with a path to equity. And so I want them to, I've got a lot of clients, good clients, I think, and I want them to be taken care of. And I think the way to do that is just and they're going to have, estate planning is an area where, unfortunately clients pass away, but they pass their wealth on to family members, and the family members need help. And so it's the organic structure. I think our business model supports that. And so I just got to find the right people who can, to bring it, basically. And I'm actively looking right now, actually. So I'm actually having an interview tomorrow with an attorney who may be coming on here. So
awesome. That's great. I like how you're planning internal like that and putting that plan in place and thinking about it now. So that's good. So yeah, you can't just work forever, right? We gotta dial back at some point. And then what's that going to look like? Are you selling the business? Or you hand it off? Hopefully internally to someone that wants to take it over. That's the best case scenario. Yeah. So awesome. Well, Bobby, I know you have another meeting coming up. What is one thing you would say to a young attorney that's like, I really want to start my own firm, and they're like, I don't, they're just kind of worried about doing it. What's one thing you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I think, have a plan, write a business plan, take the time to write a business plan before you open up the doors. and show it to other attorneys, and also bankers, people who like, would you give me money to start this firm? That would show you, because you have to think through things ahead of time, get your systems, processes, your personnel, get all the structure set up before you open your doors, so that you hit the ground running.
No, I love that. I was doing a episode, I think I was on like a Instagram video or something. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, it's hard to think, but like when I started as a freelancer, I was basically a freelancer. Like write down everything you do every day, even though you're just busy doing it. Like, what if you hire someone as part-time and like, hey, I do this like this, here you go. I've already written it down for you. But just document all that stuff and make a plan and exactly go to the bank. Hey, I'm going to try to start my own business. They'll be very supportive. If they're not, find a different bank. And then, do you have a couple clients, people that you reach out to and say, hey, I'm going to do this, try to line up some work and get some referrals going. And, if you work under an attorney, hopefully you have someone that can be a mentor to you and help pass things along to you. That's how I've heard most attorneys kind of get their start, which is good. So excellent.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Well, Bobby, I mean, I love what you're doing. It sounds like you got a great model over there. You're calm and collected. You're not running around all crazy. It just shows like what you've been able to accomplish, and you have things in place, you have a plan, and I was excited for you, man. So thanks for sharing that with us on the show today. What's the best way to connect with you if an attorney's listening right now? Obviously, your website's down below. It's insightlaw.net. Is there another way they can reach out to you or connect with you?
Yeah, they can either call the office or email me. I'd be happy to talk to them. My email is raf@insightlaw.net, and our phone number is 703-654-6019. And be happy to help in any way I can. And I really learned a lot today, actually, Kevin, just talking to you, thinking through and talking through the issues, and hearing your comments were great.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, sometimes, we know, but we sometimes go, oh, I need to do that again, or I need to revisit that. But so it helps me to talk to everyone on here and you and go, I need to do that, or I need to look into that myself. So I'm working on some estate planning stuff that I need to do for my family right now. So it's always a good refresher. So I appreciate it. I want to make sure you get off to your meeting. Everyone, you can tune in online. Our episodes are all there. Bobby will be up there soon. He'll be featured on our YouTube and Instagram and all over the place. So you can go find episodes from tons of attorneys from different states and practice areas. You can just filter on there. If you need help with marketing or just want to talk about planning or what to do if you start and have no money versus, you're massive and have a lot of money, I can help talk to you and see if you got anything. So prefer the lots of money people, but I'll help anyone. So don't worry. Bobby, thanks so much. Everyone else, have a great day. Get out there and crush it. Make your goals happen. And we will talk to you.